Hello, everyone. Wanted to throw out another video focusing on a single aspect of Jonas, just as a supplement, and that's what he talks about on page 35. You'll see there at the bottom of the first column, he says it presents something of a paradox. I think this is one of the more interesting ideas and important ideas in Jonas, the paradox. What is the paradox? The paradox is about the ontology of the organism, the manner of being of the organism, and how it differs from the manner of being of inanimate, non living things, objects. What he's suggesting is that when we talk about inanimate objects and we ask, what are they? Or what is this particular one in front of me? The inanimate object, its identity is totally determined by what it's made of physically. That's what makes it the particular object it is, and differentiates it from other objects. What it is and what it's made of, the stuff that it's made of. And so the way that we determine whether we're dealing with the same object from moment to moment is if it's made of the same stuff. And generally speaking, it is. And that's what it makes it the same object. Whereas with organisms, it's totally different because the stuff, the actual physical material out of which it's made, is constantly changing because of metabolism. So paradoxically, if we were with an organism from moment to moment dealing with something that's made of the same stuff, then it would be different because it would be dead, right? If you follow the idea of metabolism is that we must constantly be changing the stuff out of which we're made to continue to be exactly what we are, right? And that's the paradox, is that you can't judge an organism to be the same organism from moment to moment according to whether it's made out of the same stuff, because it's not made out of the same stuff. So this is the paradox, that who we are individually, our identity, is independent of what we're made out of. You and I and every other organism, we maintain our personal identity by constantly changing. But this independence of our identity from the stuff is balanced by a non-independence. This is the real paradox, as he says. Let's see. This is the top of the second column. We have thus the case of a substantial entity enjoying a sort of freedom with respect to its own substance and independence from that matter, of which it nonetheless wholly consists. However, though independent of the sameness of this matter, it is dependent on the exchange of it, on its progressing permanently and sufficiently, and there is no freedom in this. Thus, the exercise of the freedom which the living thing enjoys is rather a stern necessity. This necessity we call need, which has a place only where existence is unassured and its own continual task. So the irony is that although we cannot be defined by, as individual beings, the material out of which we're made, we are totally dependent upon it for our continued existence. So as he says a little bit lower, the knot lies always in wait and must be averted ever anew. Life, in other words, carries death within itself. That's the burden, is that as an organism, being alive means continually affirming oneself against death, against not being. So although the existence of the organism is, in its identity at least, independent out of which it's made, out of the stuff out of which it's made, it's totally dependent on it in another sense.